I open a channel in this safe and protected space, and I call forth all well-intentioned energies and entities that wish to bring forth messages to the collective's highest good, harm unto none, for the collective's happiest, best possible timeline. Please remove my influence from these readings. I invite all well-intentioned energies and entities to allow me to see, hear, taste, touch, sense, smell, know, understand anything that the collective needs to know. I'm seeing a circle. So that could be like wholeness, being whole, being one. A circle could be anything. A circle could be a ring, a bowl, a cup, the sun, the moon, an eclipse, a coin. A circle could be anything. It could be an eye. I saw like tangles, almost like static. I feel like I see a path, like a sidewalk or a trail forward, walking along a path, walking along a trail, going forward. I feel like I saw a trumpet, or like how the end of a trumpet flares out, but it also made me think of a flower, because a flower, especially like those bell flowers, just kind of like. Did that look like flames, kind of like billowing in the wind? Like when you have an open fire and a little gust of wind goes and the flames go. Why does that look like a purple flame? A violet flame. I think that might be the end of it. 6 minutes, 43 seconds. That was a lot. Okay. I now invite all well-intentioned energies and entities to bring forth or to generate 4 random songs to help the collective connect to this message or to help this message locate the collective. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. And please and thank you. So 4 random songs are Beautiful People, Afrojack and Amel extended remix by David. Quiero Ser Feliz también. Naturoots. Wondering Why by the Red Clay Strays. And Joe Vibe remix by Joe Black. All right. Let me put back on Atlantis Lost Empire in the background. Oh, static. I just pressed play to continue Atlantis. I paused it while I was meditating. And as soon as I pressed play, the very first thing that happened was their comms expert, or their comms person, she heard static in her ears, and her headphones are circles, big circles. So that could be interesting, given that I said static. All right. Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Commander, I think you should hear this. Commander. Okay. What does the collective need to know? That was quick. First card out, we have... This came out in the previous collective reading I just did. Caltrops in the reversal. Little traps, little pitfalls, little landmines, spaces and places or people that aren't exactly good for you, or just kind of do some damage, do some minor damage, but too much minor damage eventually leads to big damage. Big explosion and big monster just busts through in the movie. So again, big damage. But it's in the reversal. So this is like... In the reversal, this is like you're avoiding little traps, little damage, or avoiding situations, spaces and places and people that don't have your best interest, probably aren't good for you, probably just cause drama. Buried secret in the upright. A personal fact remains hidden. The past comes back to life. A secret talent is revealed. You make a shocking discovery. So I'm guessing something is going to be revealed, or you're going to learn something, or maybe you know the spaces, places, and people that aren't good for you, or that kind of only want to damage you in some way. And that's the reason why this is in reversal, because you already understand. And if you don't already know, then I think it's going to be revealed. Maybe the past also comes back. What else? One flipped over, one flipped over. Horus in the upright flipped over. I'm just going to look up Horus to be on the safe side. This is really interesting that Horus should come out in the upright, because Horus is also known about like the eye. And it says, looking it up, Horus, the god, most notably the god of kinship, healing, protection, the sun, and the sky. And in my meditation, I saw a circle. And I even said that could be the sun, the moon. And Horus, what else? What else about Horus? A god in the form of a falcon, whose right eye, remember I also said eye, whose right eye was the sun or morning star, representing power and quintessence, whose left eye was the moon or evening star, representing healing. And I saw the circle, and I even said that could be a sun, a moon, the eclipse. And then Horus came out in the upright. So it's like you're being protected, you're being guided. If you're not being protected and not being guided, for example, then Horus is the god you believe, or the deity that might have been, yeah. You could be guided by Horus away from certain things. But again, the sun, how one eye is the sun and the other eye is the moon, the sun and the moon. And it's interesting because the sun and the moon together does create an eclipse. Okay, what else? Two came out, with the bottom of the deck being healer or aid in the reversal. But the first card to come out is Lost in the upright, and then we have Best Day Ever in the reversal. This is interesting that they came out together. So Lost says, a wrong turn leads to a discovery, which is interesting because Buried Secret also came out, which is you make a shocking discovery. So a wrong turn leads to a discovery. Need taught you how to survive. You know where no one will look. Again, I look. And why? And why? I haven't seen that since. So again, Lost. Something might resurface. Again, Buried Secret. The past comes back to life. So something might resurface. Or, for example, like you discover something, or you know where to look for something. Maybe you know where to look or what to know. Maybe you already know how to avoid certain things, and maybe you're being guided by Horus themselves. And then we have Best Day Ever in the reversal that came out with Lost. Best Day Ever. A memory inspires strength. Everything works out just right. You find a reason to celebrate, and failure turns to fortune. but in the reversal. A wrong turn leads to a discovery. So with Lost, along with Best Day Ever in the reversal, maybe for certain spaces or places that tried to like trick you, tried to maneuver you, that tried to trick you or tried to maneuver you or hurt you, maybe they're getting their karma. Maybe in you learning, making the discovery, learning the secrets, knowing how to survive, that has allowed you to essentially win against people that wanted bad things for you, or against situations that were not working out in your favor. Because granted, not everything has to be an attack. Not everything has to be intentional. Sometimes things just happen and it's not because of someone or something else. But we also have Healer Aid at the bottom of the deck in reversal. So this Healer Aid, for example, it could be, since it's in reverse, this could be a person who presented the appearance of being a helper or being an aid, some type of support for you, in which case that could be something that you realized, is that certain people that might have made themselves look like they were helping you weren't exactly helping you. All right. Now to get clarification. Let's get clarification on caltrops in the reversal. Is that supposed to be in the sideways? Well, is it supposed to be in the sideways? It fell out into my lap sideways, and this is Adamant Will. Now this could be twofold. This could have two different meanings. Either there is a willpower or a certain will that something or someone else has been, like, with Adamant Will in the sideways, I'm actually getting that Newton's law. What is Newton's law? An unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Or, let's see. Newton's laws. So Newton's third law. When two objects interact, they apply forces to each other of equal magnitude and opposite direction. So with Adamant Will being in the sideways, especially clarifying caltrops, it's like you are going one direction, the other thing or person is going another direction, and eventually there is a collision of wills. So that could be what the situation was about, that, like, headbutting, being Newton's laws of motion. There's another, was it Newton's law? An unstoppable force meets immovable object. irresistible force paradox. Is that what it is? So it's not Newton's law. What is it? I want to look up who created, who discovered unstoppable force meets immovable object. Well, okay, I guess it's not Newton's law, but Newton's law was... Again, if two bodies exert forces on each other, these forces have the same magnitude but opposite directions. With caltrops in the reversal and adamant will in the sideways, it is very much like opposition. You were opposing someone else was opposing you. Maybe your willpower, your destinations were just in opposite directions and you were just butting heads. That's probably why you have to be aware of it, maneuver around it, let it go. It's like changing your will, pivoting. Let's clarify buried secret. Buried secret. To clarify buried secret, we have divine verdict. Interesting. The last thing to go through the Cyclops' mind was a 12-ton block of marble. We have divine verdict, which is interesting because buried secret is a personal fact remains hidden. The past comes back to life. A secret talent is revealed. You make a shocking discovery. And again, the very next card we have right after buried secret is Horus, the god. And then we have divine verdict as the clarifier for buried secret. So whatever was going on with the caltrops, the little traps that were set for you, or the little situations and scenarios that essentially harm you, and you were able to maneuver away from them by kind of recognizing and understanding that you are at odds with either another individual, or you're at odds with whatever space and place environment you were in. And it's like you were given guidance, or divine guidance or divine intervention was basically being done. Divine verdict, like something has decided, no, enough is enough. That could be also what was revealed, is that you learned that enough is enough in one way, shape, or form. I don't think we need to clarify Horus, but, we're going to clarify Horus. came out in the sideways. Levitate in the sideways. Is that supposed to be in the sideways? I mean, it came out in the upright, but it originally came out in the sideways. It's interesting because Horus is the god of the sun, the moon, the sky, and levitate is in sideways. I think maybe you don't know yet, or you're hesitant on flying, on letting go. For example, Peter Pan. Think of a happy thought with some fairy dust in order to fly. But you have to like will it. So with levitate being in the sideways, again, adamant will also in the sideways, but adamant will is more of the opposition with caltrops, but levitate underneath, or to clarify Horus, it's like maybe you don't exactly believe, and because you don't, or maybe you're iffy on your belief, and because you're iffy on your belief, you can't exactly get off the ground. You can't exactly levitate and go high and explore and expand as far as you could if you trusted. If you put, unless you put more willpower into it. Like, that's what I'm getting. Maybe you put a lot of willpower into this opposition, into maneuvering away from whatever events or situations, and you started to learn that you're being protected or guided in some type of way, but it's still kind of hard to believe. But we also have Lost as like the next card out with Best Day Ever, as they came out together. And Lost is like, need taught you how to survive. A wrong turn leads to discovery, which is interesting because 2 cards out is about discovery. Buried secret, you make a shocking discovery. Lost, a wrong turn leads to discovery. And it's interesting because wrong turn, like caltrop, is like bad situations. So it's like these situations were the turning point, the pivoting point of your life. But it's still sometimes hard to believe that there's more to this life, that there are things going on behind the scenes, that not everything is as it seems. Clarify Lost and Best Day Ever, since they came out together. Blessed Light. Blessed Light. We have Will, Divine Verdict, and Blessed Light. I mean, and Levitate. This is all about higher learning, spirituality, or like magic, expansion beyond this current, beyond like this 3D physical realm. I think I'll get another clarifier because it is 2 cards, so I will clarify again Lost, Best Day Ever, along with Blessed Light. Angel's Mercy. Again, Willpower, Divine Verdict, Levitate, Blessed Light, Angel's Mercy. And this card says, I understand your fears. I pity your doubts. I absolve you of both. Wasn't I just saying it's like you still have some questions, some disbelief, but it's like, can you deny the things you are seeing with your own eyes? Again, Horus, the sun and the moon, left eye, right eye. And then Lost, you know where no one will look, need taught you how to survive. And that's the thing about survival. Survival plants you in survival mode And you have to eventually remove yourself out of survival mode, because survival mode is very much like, it's more so black and white. It is live or die, eat or starve, shelter or like succumb to the elements. It's there's no middle ground when it comes to survival. And it's like, if you want to levitate, if you want to achieve higher heights, then it's like you have to discover, you have to give in, you have to follow. And for the people or places and spaces and environments that were only hurting you, it's, again, they are going to get their karma. So let's clarify this reversed healer aid on the bottom of the deck. I was saying how this person, this reversed healer aid, gives off this like look that they appear to be a supportive person, but they are not. To clarify healer aid, tragic poet. And this card says, in a healing world, I write, I, who will never be healed. Let my last gift be one of memory. From 1,000 lost thoughts, choose one and remember my name. This person, I now fully believe that it is a person who was using you, or if not using you, then it's a person who probably was projecting onto you, a person that was just opposing you in some way, shape, or form, because they believe that they are unable to heal. Why else would a healer or an aid, a supportive person card, be in reverse unless they believe? Now, the bottom of this deck, lost in a labyrinth, another lost card, except this one is in the reversal. So what does this card say? Even those who leave the labyrinth never escape it, forever dreaming of their time trapped within. But this is reverse. So this is giving me the feeling that you have escaped. You broke out. It's like breaking out of a toxic relationship, breaking away from a toxic friendship, breaking away from bad habits, unhealthy lifestyle, unhealthy thinking, breaking away from the belief that you will never be whole. That's why I saw the circle. The circle is not only my first thought was wholeness of self. And now we've come full circle. Because, again, Horus, the sun, the moon, the left eye, right eye, you learned things. It's like breaking out of the matrix, where you or the world, the society that we have right now tries to program you into thinking that what we see right now is what we believe. But interesting thing is, I recently watched the Mayim Bialik podcast interview with Deepak Chopra, and Deepak basically said that he now understands that seeing is not believing. It's believing is seeing. What you believe is what you will see, not the reverse. You don't see things and then believe things. You have to believe it in order to see it. And yes, there are certain things that might pop up in life because on some subconscious level, there are small pieces of knowledge within you. So with this lost in a labyrinth, again, you are not lost. But whatever situation that you removed yourself from, they think they are lost. They think they are a lost cause. And because they think they're a lost cause, it's like they just hurt people. They just hurt Hurt people hurt people. Tragic poet. I who will never be healed. But again, since we also have Blessed Light and Angel's Mercy, I feel like this isn't just for you. Like the Blessed Light and the Mercy isn't just for you. Like that mercy is also being extended to these people, places, and spaces that are in this stuck mindset of I will never be healed, I will never be whole. But again, you have to believe that you will be healed, believe that you will be whole. You have to believe it. Because regardless if you actually believe it, there are things already in existence. There are energies and entities, these 2 discovery cards. There are energies and entities that are already in existence. And it's interesting because you have buried, secret, and lost. It's like this is lost knowledge. This is lost wisdom, buried knowledge that like people don't believe anymore. Why don't you believe anymore? Because other people, spaces, and places tried to convince you that it's not there, that it's not real, that if you don't see it, it's not real. This is a very deeply loaded reading. Whew. I hope this resonated with you. And if you would like to book a one-on-one with me, you can DM me or go to my Linktree Tempest Trade. Until next time, bye. Also, I am still watching Atlantis, the Lost Empire. I was watching it when I recorded the previous reading. I'm still watching it. And after I just got done with this reading, I pressed play and I was literally at the part where she says this knowledge, like you can read this.
Such knowledge has been lost to us since the...
See? They can't read their own language. They don't know their own knowledge because their knowledge has been lost. And again, with Atlantis, why has their knowledge been lost? Because the ruler was way too ambitious with his power. And then as a consequence, at least in accordance with the Disney animated movie, because of his ambition and his lack of conscience, his lack of wisdom, his entire culture suffered through his lack of leadership. So I think that further confirms this reading that I just did. Lost knowledge. Literally lost knowledge.